Intelligence agencies are working to identify an ISIS fighter being labeled the new Jihadi John. Sources have told CBS News that this man may be Siddhartha Dar. He's a former salesman from Britain who fled to Syria in 2014. Elizabeth Palmer is in London with more.
Alhamdulillah, all praise be to Allah.
Dar is from London and was raised a Hindu but converted to Islam as a young man. He eventually joined a banned radical group, Al-Muhajirun, led by the extremist Anjem Choudhury. In 2014, he was arrested with Choudhury on suspicion of encouraging terrorism, but released for lack of evidence, and immediately made a break for Syria and joined ISIS, tweeting, "What a shoddy security system Britain must have to allow me to breeze through Europe to the Islamic State." Later, using his ISIS name, Abu Rumaisa, he posted a photo of himself holding a gun and his fifth child. In the recent ISIS video, which apparently shows the execution of 5 men, the man thought to be Dar is masked. In it, he taunts the British government.
How strange it is that a leader of a small island.
Dar's sister says she can't be sure the masked man is her brother.
I think it's a bit hard to say given what I've seen. I'm not entirely convinced that it is. My honest opinion is that it might not be.
But many other people who knew Dar think it probably is. One of the hundreds of British citizens now in Syria, including this little boy who appears at the end of the video. He's thought to be about 4 years old.
Heritage Foundation Senior Research Fellow for Middle Eastern Affairs is with us now. James, let me ask you, how big of a threat does this new Jihadi John pose?
Well, I think he's part of a much greater organizational threat posed by ISIS. He himself is probably more of a public relations spokesperson who is being used by the organization to reach out to alienated Muslims in Britain and elsewhere in Europe. And the thing that makes him so useful is that he speaks English, he knows the culture and the lingo of London, and he can convincingly try to recruit young Muslims in Britain that may be prone to joining this kind of group.
So, Mr. Phillips, you know, ISIS continues to use these execution videos featuring these English-speaking militants, and now we've seen a child. What is the purpose, and what is the purpose that it serves this terror group?
I think there are 3 basic purposes in these very grisly videos. One is to intimidate the enemies of the Islamic State by exaggerating the strength and the helplessness of its victims. Secondly, it hopes to inspire its own followers, and these kind of ritual killings rededicate and galvanize the true believers. And thirdly, it's to incite further attacks by recruiting others, particularly that are already in the West and could be used in stray dog or lone wolf attacks in place.
And it seems as if many European countries are unable to sort of track these folks that are, in some cases, born in their countries, born in Britain, born in France, born in Belgium, from traveling to Syria to fight for the Islamic State. In fact, I just returned from Belgium. I interviewed a mother who told me that she actually told the Belgian police that her son was in danger of being radicalized and traveling to Syria, and to put him on some kind of a watch list. And she claims that the police said that they would, and somehow he still ended up there. So what are European countries doing to sort of prevent that?
Well, for a while they were monitoring radical mosques, and this spokesman, Dar, did come out of a very radical mosque in England, in London. But one of the strengths, unfortunately, of ISIS or the Islamic State is that it can reach out and recruit people at their computers. That doesn't need to go into the mosque, and in fact, some of its most likely recruits are converts, because converts make the best zealots, and often converts are already estranged from their families, so they're easier to separate from previous influences and inculcate the values of the Islamic State, which essentially is a mass murder cult.
James Phillips at the Heritage Foundation. James, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it.